So, in further news of the decline of Western civilization by a trillion cuts, I submit the following. Here is a woke article that is characteristically ahistorical, irrational, and, of course, insanely bigoted. Here's the title. Is coffee racist? How drinking coffee perpetuates white supremacy. That's right, they already got milk and birds and boulders. Time to put coffee on the hot seat. Says created by black people for black people, and now a pillar of white supremacist capitalism. If you consume coffee, you are helping an industry built on racism. So they say the old WS here, it's a pillar of the WS capitalism. That's because they just believe capitalism is that. Woke people are incapable of seeing capitalism in any other way because they're all fundamentally Marxist. I mean, ask them, they'll tell you. But this statement here, created by black people for black people. But what if that's not actually true? So let's just go to Wikipedia. Hardly a bastion of right-wing propaganda, right? The history of coffee dates back across centuries of oral tradition. Coffee plants grew wild in Yemen and were widely used by nomadic tribes for thousands of years. Sufi monasteries in Yemen employed coffee as an aid to concentration during prayers. Roasting the seeds was not a way to serve coffee until the 1400s. Well, wait a second. It's saying that that coffee comes from Yemen. That's the Middle East. That's not Africa. Those are Arabs. Here they're saying created by black people for black people. Are they just making that up? But this doesn't surprise me much, because one thing you notice with woke articles is that reality is not their friend. And we have to remember that the majority of woke people are white women with a terrible education. And by terrible education, I mean they went to college. But anyway, now it's actually hard to believe just how bigoted this article is, but let's get started. If you're a person of color, you know what I'm talking about. You walk into a new coffee shop and your senses are overwhelmed with whiteness, and you get the glare from the Karens. The white hipster barista lines herself up between you and the bathrooms, ready to tell you non-customers aren't welcome. But if you're a person of color, do you really know what they're talking about? Like, are you overwhelmed with whiteness and getting glared at by Karens? Is it true that as soon as you walk in, there's immediately people blocking you from the bathrooms? I think that's not true. This reads like something commissioned by the Chinese Communist Party to try and sow division in the United States. But it goes on. It gets even more absurd. If you have a white coffee drinking friend, who wrote this? If you have a white coffee drinking friend, you see why it kind of feels like maybe there was somebody from the CCP wrote this? But anyway, he or she may even have let you in on the old coffee joke white coffee drinkers share when POC aren't around. Okay, so just prepare yourself to hear this. Quote, there are 3 things that are necessary in order to make a cup of coffee, and they are, first, a black man to roast the coffee, second, a yellow man to grind it, and third, a white man to drink it. So, first off, just let me say, that joke doesn't exist. Nobody has ever told that joke. That's not real. And again, this feels like it was written by somebody for whom English is a second language or maybe a third language. There are 3 things that are necessary in order to make a cup of coffee. Nobody actually talks like this. Now, I guess if you want to believe this, you can go ahead, but none of this is real. Anyway, it goes on. Well, I'm here to validate your lived experience. Coffee is, in fact, horribly racist, and there's data to back it up. This is just somebody who's trying to destroy Western civilization. That's all this is. So let's end off this anti-racist article with this. It's a well-known fact that whites would be eating bland food like plain bread and gruel if it weren't for their theft of culinary secrets from people of color, and especially black folks. That's precisely why, when the white folks found out about coffee, it became one of the reasons they decided to victimize and appropriate black civilization wholesale. Yeah, that's right, because in the ancient world, from the Mediterranean all the way up to the British Isles, all that white people ate was a plain bread and gruel. You know, I can't tell whether this is just a super racist, college-educated moron who wrote this, because I don't think you can actually be this stupid and this historically illiterate without having gone to college. But I can't tell if it's that or if this is just propaganda from some foreign enemy designed to try and destroy Western civilization. And either way, I'm so exhausted from dealing with this idiocy. I think I need a nice hot cup of coffee. Anyway, please subscribe, like, and share. Sharing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.